What's up, everybody? It's John with John Sports Odds and Collectibles coming at you with a brand new video. How's everyone doing out there today in the YouTube universe? It's an opinion piece video today. I'm going to talk about the content creator here. Nothing bad. Actually like this channel. Professor Sports Cards. Let me pull this up here. Okay. Let's talk about this video that he came out with a few days ago. He's talking about here on a couple of videos passes, but 2 days ago he came out with this video, sports card channels are tanking and no one is talking. And I have to agree with him and I have to kind of disagree with him in a certain sense. I'm not here to pump these other guys up or anything like that either. I'm here to talk about the reality and that there may be reasons why numbers aren't what they were, but they may not be, in his words, tanking based on, some things I'm going to show you guys here. And I'm going to talk about some other things as well within this hobby and this space and why these influencers, they don't want to live in reality, or they are living in reality behind the scenes, but what they're presenting to the general public and especially young people that are interested in this space and this hobby and this trading card industry, they're not going to paint a real picture for those individuals, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. So I asked AI, I wanted to know the average percent of people that are subscribers to a channel that will watch a YouTube video that a channel puts out they're subscribed to. Now I'm not sure. I think it's Jason, who's Professor Sports, because I'm not sure if he broke that percentage down, but I wanted to talk about this because it's actually very important based on numbers currently to talk about this. So it says here the average percentage of subscribers who view a YouTube video varies, but a common benchmark is around 10 to 14%. This means if a channel has 1,000 subscribers, it can typically expect about 100 to 140 views per video, according to Tubular Labs. However, this can fluctuate based on factors like content type, niche, and audience engagement. And that's true. It's hard to really pinpoint numbers per se. You can go off of this. I thought it was actually a little bit lower than this. I thought it was like between 3 to 10%, but this is what it's saying here. And I'm not going to click through and go through all this stuff, but I'm just going to go off of what this says here. And I'm going to look at 5 influencers channels, and we're going to do what he did in Professor Sports Cards video. We're going to look at the current videos and if they fall within this guideline, and the past videos definitely don't, but there's reasons for it. And I want to say what those are too. And I think that's where things may not be tanking per se, but if you're going to use those past numbers as an example, there are reasons why they were so high. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at here is Pac-Man. Again, I'm not here to promote any of these people. I don't know any of these guys at all. I've had my opinions about some of these that I'm going to talk about here, but I've never interacted with a lot of these guys. I don't watch a lot of these guys. I don't watch their content because to me it's not very interesting. Okay, so Pac-Man, his latest videos, now his average, if you go over this 10 to 14%, he's got 359,000 plus subscribers. He should be averaging right now between 35 to 50,000 views per video. Let's see. 55,000, 31, 32, 45, 55, 70, 119, 64. So they're kind of falling within the range, and he's exceeding on some. And you go down here 75, 64, 44, 65. So he's falling within his percentages based on this. He's actually exceeding those numbers. Now let's take a look at his past numbers, and we're going to talk about why things are the way they are. So 2 years ago, after the pandemic was over, 731,000 views, 722,000 views, 585,000 views 2 years ago. Now, I can see what Professor Sports Cards is talking about, numbers tanking when you look at this from 2 years ago. When you go back further, though, during the pandemic, if they're high, that's one of the reasons why they were high, because the pandemic was going on. People were home, they were bored, they had nothing to do, and so they started watching YouTube comment. And that was also the time when the hobby was booming because of all the hype around it from Gary Vee and everybody else. And so people were becoming interested in the space again. And they also had money to spend too. So that's where this boom came from. And a lot of these influencers, when they talk about these past years, they don't ever talk about that really. You have to kind of press them on it from what I've seen in interviews. So I can see what Professor Sports Card is talking about here with the numbers tanking. If you look at it from the perspective of, a few years ago, 4 years ago in this particular case, is like the pandemic was kind of over with. People were going back to normal. 5 years ago here, 494,000. But based on these numbers here currently, he's kind of falling within. Now, I think a lot of the people that were interested in this space have left because they were never truly interested in this for the right reasons. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But let's look at some other channels here. You've got Car Collector 2. He's got 191,000 plus subscribers. His videos should fall currently between 19,000 and 26,000 plus. Let's take a look. 26,000, 16,000, 23, 3,000. That's a dud. 27,000, 2,400. That's low. 13,000, 30,000. So he's kind of falling in there, kind of going over a little bit on a few, bombing on a couple. They got to stop doing the BJ mouth. I mean, honestly, on these thumbnails, you influencers that are watching, don't you understand how stupid this looks? The BJ mouth. Insert here. I made a joke about it before. It's ridiculous. I don't know how that's appealing. Okay, so, Car Collector 2, his numbers are kind of falling within this current percentage. Now, his past numbers, his popular videos with the BJ mouth there, 228,000, views a year ago, 191,000 3 years ago. So I can see, again, Professor Sports Cards makes a good point with showing that these numbers are going down, but maybe he's not wrong per se. If you look at the years, he might be kind of right. But again, they're falling within the current guidelines. So I think that there's just an exodus, an exit of people from the hobby. Jab's family, my favorite. No, not really. You guys know Jab's family's a schmuck. I'm not going to say what I'd like to say, but I shake my head when I see people making comments, and I go watch like a video from the National, and he's, I just don't. I'm not a big throwing my family and kids in videos. I just don't like it. I think it's kind of a turnoff. To me it is. But let's look at his numbers. His numbers are not looking great. He should be averaging 16,000 to 23,000 plus. Okay, 4,300. That just came out five hours ago. This though, yesterday, 4,800. 1 day ago, 8,800. He should be falling between 16,000 and 23,000 a video. He's dropping to 11,000, 22, 6, 8, 37. Where he puts all the money on the table. Again, what the hell? What the hell are we doing here? This is crazy. But his views are kind of falling within, and some don't. He's definitely dropping off. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Professor Sports Card is onto something here. Okay, currently. But again, I'm going to go back to this percentage. They're falling within it. Maybe not jabs per se. His past videos. Now these don't. I mean, this is him. 8 years ago, 6, 1 million plus views of his child throwing up. I mean, who puts a video out like this? Honestly, why are you putting a video out like this? I mean, that's like really disgusting, and like kind of you're exploiting your child there by putting that video out. 1 million views. Okay. 504,000 views watching the child play soccer. I don't understand why. I don't know how that could get that kind of views, but okay. All right, let's look at some baseball card ones. 6 years ago, 247,000. I've questioned some of these numbers before too. These seem really, really high. 221,000 6 years ago. 6 years ago, before the pandemic hit. So his numbers are definitely not what they used to be. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Next one is Sports Card Investor. He's got 397,000 subscribers. He should be falling within the 39,000 to 55,000 range for his videos. 7,000, 29, 96, 105. Okay, he's going above his average. 89, 81, 87, 89, 81, 84, 140. That horrible video where he just should not have opened up that product, that 7-year-old Bowen pack. Ridiculous. Here he is buying it. Unbelievable. 57,000 views for that. I did a video covering that stupid thing that he did. Okay. His old videos. 1 million. 392,000. 707,000. 770,000, 4 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I think the numbers are definitely they're dropping, but again, they fall within. Or actually, he's exceeding the percentage, but it's still lower than what they were. Chasing Cardboard, one I don't think he talked about here. I'm not a fan. We all know why, the auto thing, everything else. I think this is all staged. I think Ty's kind of like vanilla, not my cup of tea. But some people, I guess, like him. Now he has got 76,000 plus subscribers. He should be falling within 7,600 to 10,000 plus on his video averages. He's going way over, which raises a question mark. Okay, 39,000, 120,000, 123,000, 84,000, 63,000, 30,000 a month ago, 90,000, 428,000, 45,000. Why are they watching but not subscribing? When you have 428,000 views, your numbers should be going up. That's a red flag to me, big time. That if I'm looking at that looks like bought views. I don't know what other way to look at that. I don't understand it. 45, but then 45,000 2 months prior to that. Okay, so let's look at his popular videos. That's one of the most popular ones. 5 months ago, 316,000. So he's not putting out. Well, his other videos, they're really. There's a lot of time in between. He's got another channel too, which I should have probably pulled up, where he tries to give people tips, and it's all okay. It's all stuff that you can figure out yourself. You can just by doing some research. Don't listen to these influencers. A lot of them don't know what the hell they're talking about. So his numbers are definitely, if you look at his popular videos, they're definitely lower. So maybe I take it back. Maybe Professor Sports Cards has it right where the content is, I don't know if I'd use the word tanking. It's definitely on a decline. But it is falling within these percentages of what it says here, 10 to 14%. So he may be onto something here. And I think there's a lot of reasons why these numbers were higher before. The pandemic, that's the first thing. Okay, that's so obvious, so evident, and that is why things are booming. People had money then to spend. They were getting money sent to them every week, and people were had excess funds, and they were home and they were spending money, and so the hobby boomed. And I think now though, the economy is affecting certain things. You cannot go off of videos of the National and think, oh, this industry is booming and all this stuff like that. I see a lot of full shelves that are full of product at my local retail stores. And I see numbers that are down like on my eBay site. Now, I'm not selling these super expensive premium cards and things like that on my site, but I've seen a massive decline. That's me. But I do see a lot of product still sitting on the shelves for a longer period of time. And I don't see restocks happening as nearly as much over this last few months. I think a lot of people were looking to make a quick buck. They came into this thing. And then they exited when it all started to go down, and they pivoted to something else to try to make money on. I don't think these influencers, these creators are going to say anything negative about anything, any of this stuff. Their numbers, they're gonna paint this rosy picture that everything's booming, everything's great. They're gonna have the BJ Mouse on their video on their video thumbnails. Everything is roses. Everything is awesome. Nothing to see here. Move on kind of vibe. Because if they don't do that, it's going to hurt their bottom line. It's going to affect people's ideas about them. And they don't want to drive any potential customers away. They don't want to turn off any of the card companies by being realistic. They don't want to turn off any of their sponsors, though they don't want to lose their sponsors. They don't want to lose their subscribers. And they don't want to lose any sort of viewers, even though those numbers do seem to, they're on a decline. But I think that the hobby has balanced itself out. And all those people that were interested in this to either make a quick buck, because maybe it was nostalgic for them. Maybe they had memories of being a kid opening up a pack, and now it's back in the forefront again. And I want to check this out, and this is awesome. And then they realized, well, this is kind of lame, and so they left. They went back to their jobs. They went back to their lives. And this was just a fad for them. This was just not even a hobby. It was just a thing. There was hype around it, and they moved on. They moved back into the real world. So maybe now what we're seeing are basically what's left over of that and just the people that were here already before. I know that my numbers, I didn't pull up my channel. I have a similar amount as far as high numbers from 3, 4, 5 years ago to really low numbers now, lower than probably the average amount. But I am a different kind of channel. I'm not ripping product all the time anymore at all, really. I'm showing comic book videos that a lot of people, the sports car people don't seem to care about it. I'm making opinion piece videos a lot more now. Those actually get more views and watch time than those other videos do. People want to hear that drama. They want to hear me go off. They want to hear me swear. They want to hear me scream and yell. I don't do as much of that anymore, but I do voice my opinion here. So that's really, really it. The overperforming elements of things a few years ago, again, it's due to the pandemic, the extra money that was floating around, and the hype. And now they're still trying to do the hype, but I'm really wondering if the money is drying up because the economy is in the shitter right now. And, I don't think that things are booming as much as these influencers want to make it seem. So that's it. I wanted to talk about this. I thought this topic was a really good thing that Professor Sports Cards Jason brought up, and in a way, he's right. I wouldn't even say that he's wrong at all. I think that maybe it was just the information isn't directed properly, perhaps. But he is right as far as the numbers going down, but maybe not so right with the percentages that these are all falling within. They're all kind of falling within the 10 to 14%, and a few channels I showed you here are going over that. But that's Chasing Carver. That's raises a question mark. But maybe those videos, if we go back and look at that real quick, and then I'll wrap this one up. Maybe these videos are getting a lot of views because of how much space, how much time, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 days ago, maybe it's working because it's not content every single day and people are like going to watch this because there's not a lot of it out there from this channel. You know what I mean? They're not putting out a lot of content on a continuous basis. But this one though does raise some eyebrows. 428,000 views. Why that one and not these other ones? So anyway, that's it, guys. I wanted to talk about this. Let me know your thoughts. So also, if you're new here and you like what you see in here in this video, please hit the subscribe button. Remember to hit the thumbs up button. And also, remember to share this with everybody out there in the YouTube world, universe, and car community. And let me know your thoughts. Please put your comments down below. I'd like to know what you think based on what I'm presenting here. And your thoughts on all of this. And the shameless plug, like I always do at the end, the eBay store link is down below in the description. That's one thing that I can say that I'm not doing here on the channel is trying to sell people something. I don't have any sponsors. I do promote the eBay store at the end of each video because it is it is a small business that I have and how I operate and try to pay the bills with, even though it's been really bad over this last year. But these guys, they've got sponsors. They're trying to hawk shit. I mean, they've got, it's just insane. Of course they don't want people to see the reality of things. And that's it, guys. I'm done talking. Greatly appreciate you being here. And that's all I've got for you guys today. More videos coming up real soon. Until next time, folks, this is Drama John Sports as a Collectible signing off, and I will see everybody very, very soon. Take care.